So today I'm just giving you some time to practice with solving these linear systems. So again, there is going to be a quiz on it coming up this Friday, and then we'll also be on the test, which is next week on Thursday.
Is the quiz
the quiz is all short answer, yes. But there's some of this, there's some of the solving stuff that we've done before. It's everything so far we've done this unit. So today, though, we're just going to start kind of by doing a summary, because again, we learned 3 different methods to solve systems of equations. When you are asked to solve a system, so whenever we have 2 equations, you can choose whatever method, you can choose whatever method you want. I'm not going to ask that you specifically use one method. However, sometimes using one method will be easier than using the others, just how the equations are set up. So graphing or using your calculator would be the easiest if y is already by itself for both equations. Or if it's easy to get by itself. So we had one equation that was like y equals negative 3x plus 7, and another one that was 4x plus y equals 3. Okay, so the first equation already has y by itself, so you could plug that one right into y equals. The second equation, y is easy to get by itself. All you'd have to do is subtract 4x. And then you can use your calculator from there. So graphing is easiest if it's easy to get y's by themselves. Okay. So the second method that we used was the addition or elimination method. Again, it's the same, 2 different names for the same thing. That's what we did on Monday. So this method would be easiest if all your variables have a coefficient, or if all your variables have a number out in front. So, for example, if we had like 3x minus 2y equals 6 and negative 7x plus 10y equals 22. So if all of your variables have a number in front of them, that means if you were to try to solve for a variable, which is what you have to do for either graphing or substitution, you would end up having to deal with fractions most likely. Fractions are fine. If you want to do that, that's okay. But with fractions, there is a higher probability that some silly mistakes would be made. So if all your variables have a constant, have a number out in front like that, then using the addition or elimination method would be the easier, quicker way to go. And then using substitution would be easiest if it's easy to get one variable by itself. For graphing, you need to have y's be easy to get by themselves. With substitution, as long as there's at least one variable alone, then substitution would work. So if we had like 3x plus 2y equals 6, or x minus 7y equals 21. So in this case, it would be easy to get this second x by itself. You would just add 7y to both sides, and then you can use substitution like we did yesterday. Okay, so again, sometimes one method will be easier. However, if you have a favorite and you just want to use it all the time, that's fine. Just be aware sometimes then if you stick to one method and one method only, you may have to deal with fractions, and you need to keep everything in fractions. We're not going to do decimals. Unless you're using graphing and it gives you a decimal as the answer, that's okay. But when you're solving, we don't want to use decimals, especially if you have to round. Because if you start rounding, you're going to get wrong answers. Okay. So what we're doing today, this pack is going to be worth 20 formative points. On the first page, I'm giving you a problem in the first column, and then all you're going to do in the second column is say what method you would use to solve it of those 3. Notice in big caps, you do not You don't need to solve yet. So on this page, you are not solving. All you're going to do is say, I'm going to use this method because. If you want to say because it's my favorite or because it's the one I know the best, that's fine. Or if you want to use one of these reasons, like if you're okay with all three methods and you want to use substitution because it's easy to get a variable by itself, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But on this front page, you're telling me what method you would use and why. Not solving yet. Okay? If you guys can flip to the back of the front page. Everybody flip, please. Back of the front page. Again, now we're looking at word problems. For these, again, you're only going to set up. We are not solving yet. Do not solve yet. Again, for the second page, we are not solving. Don't do more work than you need to do. All you're going to be doing is setting up your two equations for these word problems. So that includes defining your variables. So you have to tell me what is x representing, what is y representing with units, and then you're going to write your two equations. Okay, that's all you're doing for this second page. You're not going to be doing any solving yet. Okay, so first two pages, you're not solving. All right, then if you go to the last page, now you're going to solve. So here is where you're solving on the last page. There's going to be a mixture of word problems and non-word problems. So you can choose what method you want, and you're going to be solving these ones. Okay, so first page, front and back, no solving. Second page, front and back, solving. This is 20 points. I would like it by the end of the hour, if possible. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, quiz is on Friday, so keep that in mind as you're going through this.